Shalom, this is Yehudit Gofar from Sfat. I want to share with you today the movements I'm doing for this, the 9th of Tevet, which is the 6th day of my count of the 100 days of the Sarah Meditation Square, which goes until Purim, and the 7th day in the Anabakor prayer, which concludes in a 42-day count, which concludes at Tu B'Shvat. So starting with the meditation square this time, each line, each of the 10, there's 10 squares horizontally and 10 squares vertically, and all the squares filled in between are the numbers 1 to 100, but not in the normal order, in an order that each line and the 2 diagonal lines all add up to 505. Which is the gamatria for the name Sarah, and have to do with meditating on the spiritual consciousness of Sarah, as it's seen as a sense of goal being unconditional love and divine joyfulness is one way that's been put, and a sense of union with the Hashem. So it's a path towards greater consciousness, greater sense of unconditional love, and also a joyful path in doing this. And today, being the 6th day, it's the letter, each of the, what's called the rooms in each of the houses. Each horizontal row is called a house, and each room in that house is part of a vertical row called a room. So the 6th room in the vertical house of the first row, which I'm calling the row of Keter, and it's a hay. And it's really interesting, as I've been doing this for many years now, meditating on the square and embodying it with my Hebrew letter movements, and just noticing how the numbers work, because the first 2 squares are in order, 1 and 2. The next 2 squares are as if coming from the very bottom of the magic meditation square. They're 98 and 97, and then the 5th square in order is 96, which we did yesterday. 97, not 97, the 6th square is as if you're counting from the right side of that particular horizontal line. The 5th square over from the far end is a hay, but it's the 6th square if you're coming from the left. So it's a little complicated. Actually, let me show you. I included this on my WhatsApp group. This is Abraham Lowenthal's painting with the Sarah's magic meditation square in Hebrew letters. The numbers all translated into Hebrew letters, and you can download that from, I got Abraham's permission, you can download that from my WhatsApp group, or contact me if you want a copy. And you can see where the 6th one is a hay. It's very different than the surrounding ones, which have different numbers within 90. The 98, the 97, 96, and then after the hay, 94, 93. So it's really interesting to figure this out and how the patterns work. They're beautiful patterns in this meditation square. That's why I'm sharing it with you, and also to find out what this journey is, trying to verbalize the journey of greater consciousness, spiritual consciousness, with the goal of the spiritual aspect of Sarah, of unconditional love and divine joyfulness and divine union. So the hay is the letter for today. I'm going to do a simple hay. Stepping back, hands come up horizontally. You dip your head between your hands as you turn them over, and point your toe beneath your knee. That's the hay. Then the heel, and if you're rocking, repeating the letter, you rock back and forth. When you're forward, your back heel comes up. When your weight is back, your toe points down. Your hands come down as if coming forward through a window. Here you're making space as if the birth passage. Open at one side, open at the bottom. I'm going to do it with my other foot. Right foot back, left toe points down. Like contemplating the lower yud. Forward. So this is the movement we're going to do. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it 10 times, one for each of the Sefirot from Keter to Malkhut. The overall structure in this magic meditation square, I'm using the 10 Sefirot, making the top left corner Keter Sheba Keter and the lower right Malkhut Sheba Malkhut, so that each day has its energy of a combination of one of the 10 Sefirot in terms of the horizontal row, the house, and one for the room. And I'll do that after I do the soundings for each of the soundings are the vowels that I use to embody the Sefirot. So we're going to do a Kamatz first, so the sound will be an ah. Ah. Ah combined with the hay. Then the patach for chachma. Ah. The sareh for bina. Hey. Segol for hesed. Ah. Shvana for Gevurah. The Holam for Tiferet. Oh. The Harik for Netzach. He. The Kamatz for Od. Who? The Shuruk for Yesod. Who? Excuse me. Let's do that again. Yesod, stepping back. Who? And Malkhut, silence being breathed. And doing that Malkhut of letting myself be breathed. So since this is a 6 room in the top row, it's equivalent to Tiferet of Keter. Tiferet being the 6th Sefirot on the Tree of Life down from Keter. So I'm going to do a Kamatz for Keter and a Cholam for Tiferet. Combine them 5 times, one for each level of the 5 levels of soul. That includes the upper 2 levels that we usually don't talk about. The level of Yechidah, of unity, of uniqueness, every person has a unique soul. The level of Chayah, which is integration and aliveness, a total aliveness, integrating the other 3 levels of soul. Nefesh, which is more the intellectual, mental level, Ruach, the emotional level, and Nefesh, the physical level. So my personal take here on for this meditation is actually as I'm counting up from 1 to 100, but not in the order, the normal order, but starting at 1 my first day, ending with 100 the last day. I'm also attempting to create a vessel to bring the infinite light in to my vessel and into this vessel of the world, and bring more of Hashem's light, making it visible in the world and in my own spiritual path. It's kind of my goal. And so this is Tiferet, in the room of Tiferet, in the horizontal row line of Keter. And all the numbers in this line, remember, add up to 505, the number for Sarah. So I'm going to do it 5 times. Yechidah. Oh. Oh. That's Chayah. Neshamah. Oh. Ruach. Oh. Nefesh. Oh. And I'm doing 2 sets of counts that I'm sharing with you. The other one is Anabakoach, which takes us from Zot Hanukkah up through Tu B'Shvat, and has to do with the 42-letter name of God and the prayer. It's based on 42 words, 7 rows of 6 words apiece, and they're one of the ways of getting in touch with the 42 encampments in the desert, as the Israelite people were freed from Egypt, were wandering in the desert. They had 42 encampments, and each one is representative of part of our spiritual journey in our spiritual path. So again, it's a counting of our spiritual progress, development, and it's trying to make an encouragement to being able to create a whole vessel, a sound vessel for the light that comes in, that each of us has our unique way of bringing in. And I'm going to do the word, do the 7th word. We're on the 7th word now, the beginning of the 2nd line. It too has a Sefirot equivalent, the lower 7 Sefirot. The first whole line was Hesed. The second line starts Gevurah, and the first word is Kabbalah, which is to receive, which is very fitting since the Hesed is a giving aspect, and Gevurah is a receiving aspect in terms of our general behavior and consciousness. And so we'll do the letters first of Kabbalah, and then we'll do the nikudot that go with the Sefirot combination for the first word on the 2nd line of Anabakoach prayer. So it's a kuf, a beit. You can do the dagesh if you want, and a lamed. Kabbalah. Starting from the other side. Kuf. Beit. And lamed. Doing it 4 times, once for each word. Kuf. Bet. And lamed. ourselves to be breathed. Bringing it down from Silut, nearness to God, Bria, intellectual dimension, Yetzirah, emotional dimension, and Nefesh, physical dimension. And then we'll do the first letter, but I'm gonna bring in the whole last line from the line of Hesed, which was, these are the letters, for the initial letters of each word, although when it's combined, actually, in a siddur, if you look at it, the last letter, which was Zadi, for Sarura, they make it a final Zadi because it's the end of that string, which I did not do in yesterday's tape, but I'll do it now. So it's an Aleph, Ana, Bakoa, Bet, Gedulat, Gimel, Mincha, is a Yud, we do the side Yud. Hatir, it's a Tav. So Ruach is a Zadi. We're going to do the final Zadi. My toes. And then Kabel. Kuf. That's for 7 days. The energy is Hesed Sheba Gevura. So the feet shoulder width apart. Do 3 levels of soul, like I do on the counting of the Sefirot, the Omer. So Hesed is a Segol, and Gevura is a Shvana. Compassion, openness within the realm of strength of setting boundaries. Sounds like that was an interception. So I bless us that as we go through difficult times or good times, that we're able to, with Kabbalah, we're able to receive what's there, but know how to set up boundaries compassionately and get strength from having clear boundaries. And in the square of Sarah, being able to keep our balance, Tiferet, Sheba Keter. Keter is, in my sense, I'm wearing the white scarf, primarily white scarf, kind of with a little shine on it, to indicate Keter as a bright light, the original source. That it has a sense of isness, sense of the experience as we're experiencing it. And Tiferet is having balance, the right amount of Hesed, the right amount of Gevura, of balancing the two, the openness, the givingness, and knowing when and how to give properly, the right time, appropriateness, priority setting is the whole line of Gevura. So, and the Tiferet, it's interesting the way the two countings I'm doing feed into each other, interact with each other. That we have Tiferet on the top row with the hay, which also has a sense of this birthing, and also a contemplation. When the head looks down at the little yud at the bottom, contemplation of sense of wholeness, what it could be, potential maybe, condensed, with a sense of balance between Hesed, Sheva, Gevura, between the pieces of the Honorable prayer. We'll experiment with it. I'm wearing double hay today, the returning hay, the upper hay and the lower hay of the divine name. This is a design by a Kabbalist that Abraham Lowenthal made, called the returning hay. And I'm thanking Abraham for his teachings and the way he has taught me and others Kabbalistic concepts and made them concrete as images, paintings, and it's a very sweet soul. So many blessings to all of us, that we may find our path, be able to pursue our path with openness and strength and balance and harmony at each experience. May Hashem bless us.